Today we're going to have some fun with Crayola markers and a black pen. We're going to make this bright, colorful, floral illustration with just a few simple supplies. Let's get started. First, I drew my floral arrangement on a piece of paper with a pencil, and now we're going to go in with our black pen and just get it all drawn in. I thought once I had finished this that it looked a lot like a coloring page, and that's pretty much what it turns into. It was fun to draw, and then we're going to make it very bright and very colorful. I'm a big believer in using what you have where you are, and it doesn't take a lot of expensive supplies to make pretty art. So now we're going to go in with our Crayolas, and you see I'm just doing the outline, and the reason I'm just doing the outline is because we're going to take a paintbrush with just a little bit of water on it, and we're going to use that to move the pigment of the Crayola markers around. Crayola markers are water-based. These are actually super tips, so you can use water to manipulate them a pretty good bit, and their pigment is pretty strong, so you can see even adding the water and coloring in, the color remains very bright. Now we're moving on to the pink flowers. I think I used 2 colors of pink here. And then we'll go to the roses, and we'll use a really dark, strong pink color for those. And also, I've got 2 or 3 different shades of green, but the process is the same throughout. For this first part, we're gonna kind of put a little bit of color, but not fully color in everything. And then we're gonna go in with our water and fill out that color. And you can use your paintbrush a little bit to manipulate where the darker parts and the lighter parts fall. Now I will say this would probably be difficult on a thin piece of paper. I believe I'm using watercolor paper here. You can do it, but you would just have to be a lot lighter with your water and probably do a lot of breaks in between, letting things dry before you add more. You can see this is very easy to do. It's kind of nice. You don't have to worry about am I gonna color outside the lines, or do I care if I color outside the lines? The paintbrush does a lot of that work for you. And so after I let it dry, there were a few spots where I wanted to make the color a little richer, and also change color a couple of places. You'll see I'm gonna, some of those leaves, there's a little bit too much lime in there for me, so I'm going to take a few of those and transform them into something a little darker. And I couldn't wait to get in there with my line work, so before I even finished doing all the color work, I went and added some lines on these little flowers so the petals look a lot more dimensional. And you can see I've got the marker in one hand, the paintbrush in the other, and I'm just enhancing the color where I need to. And now we're back to our line work. I love that color orange, but it was just a slightly bright to me, so we toned it down with some lines. And I did do a touch of a white pen. I thought I would do a lot more, but once I did that, I thought, oh, that's enough. So now wrapping up those leaves. You can tell these are illustrative pictures. I'm not trying to make a realistic leaf, but the shapes are fun, the colors are bright. Put a little line work on them and they look really pretty. Alright, now it's time for some background. I didn't want to just leave it white, and I really love the way this blue and orange look together. See, I'm actually coloring this, and I really wanted a strong blue behind the flowers. But once we get out to the background, we'll go back to our other technique of putting a little color and putting a little water and seeing what we get. Mottled color around the border, and in some areas you'll see where I add a little bit more marker because I don't want it to get too washed out going toward the edge. But This was a fun part because you didn't have to worry about how messy you were being. You could just go in there and paint to your heart's content. Okay, I had added line work to all of the flowers except for the roses, and after I got finished I wanted them to stand out just a little bit more, so we're going back in and adding that last little bit of thickening those black lines so the petals on the roses will stand out just a little bit more. You should click on that playlist to check out some of my other floral videos where I use a variety of techniques, and if you want to change it up a bit, try the video there on the left, and you can see I love to draw mandalas also, and check that one out. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you'll subscribe to my channel for more fun videos.